What is up, folks? Jorge Nito here. Welcome back. Today we have a top 10 list. How many top 10s can you do, Jorge? As many as I want. I'm just teasing. We got the top 10 favorite card sleights of mine that I do day in and day out. These are card moves that are range from color changes to card sleights. A bunch of utility moves, basically, but these are moves that I do day in and day out. I've devoted a lot of time and attention to each one of them, and these are just my top 10 moves currently. Let me know in the comments if you agree. What would you throw in? Be sure to let me know. Guys, also some of these effects will have been featured previously here on the channel. I'll leave all the links in the description below, and if it's not a tutorial where I teach it, I'll leave a link to where I learned it, or from whence I learned it. So, with that, coming in at number 10, and I think I'll just perform it. We'll have a look at it, see if you can guess it, and we'll go from there. The spectator's card goes in the middle. They see it. It gets pushed in. Winds up on top. Guys, that is bow to stern. One of my all-time favorite controls. I do this so often, and just the whole mechanics of it, it feels wrong. Like you're doing some crazy stuff with these cards. But man, this flies. I remember the first time I did this for someone as part of an ambitious card routine. This person was amazing. This was just like phase 2, right? So I was building up to, the popular bent card phase. But man, she loved this. This was like, if I would have just showed her that card control, that would have been fine. Like, she was blown away that she saw her card go into the middle, saw me push it in, and it wound up on top. That's how nice and clean this move looks. Number 10, bow to stern. Alright, guys, coming in hot at number 9. Not the pull tab color change. Actually, just the Tenkai Palm. Man, this is one of my all-time favorite moves. It could be used for so much, and I use it for so many different things. Of course, that little effect you saw there at the beginning was the pull tab color change, which that's something that I do teach here on the channel. But man, the Tenkai, we all have our favorite palms: Classic Palm, Gambler's Cop, the Calm. Different things we like to do. I love the Tenkai. I've just grown to love this move. So number 9, Tenkai Palm. Coming in at number 8, the one, the only. I guess I'll get to it here in a minute. The Venus Flytrap. Man, you could use this in so many things. Chris Orbit Brown came up with that. Wow, what a beautiful thing. There's a few other things that are very similar to it, but I'll leave the link. I'll leave a link in the description where you could learn it for relatively cheap. He has an at-the-table lecture where he teaches it along with a bunch of other stuff. You have Greg Wilson sat there with him, and he just goes over all kinds of stuff: Rain Man, algorithm, orbit control, and of course, the Venus Flytrap. So there, number 8, Venus Flytrap. Coming in at number 7, the Fabian's change. I think that's what it's called. Man, this is a beautiful color change where I haven't taught that on this channel. This one's really not mine to teach. Chris Ramsey teaches it on his channel. He calls it Fabian's change. His friend Fabian basically came up with it, and Chris had some little stuff on it. Man, I've just grown to love this color change. Something you could tack on at the end of an effect, card reveal. But I think we can all work out what happens there. But man, it just takes the spectator off. Alright, guys, and coming in at the number 6 position, we're not going to use the Joker there. That's okay. We'll use the 2 of clubs for demonstration purposes. Maybe you saw that. That's okay. The Classic Pass. The Classic Pass. Something you don't ever want to bring attention to. But man, I love this move. How beautiful a move. I just love this so much. And I know this is one of those moves that, you either love it or you hate it. People just don't like it. And then others, it's one of the hallmarks of Card Sleights. And so very versatile move. I like to use it in some, like a false cut sequence, right? But there's just so much that you could do with it, right? So much that you could do with the classic pass. Hence probably why it's classic. So it's a move that I love. Really enjoy this. Number 6, the classic pass. Number 5, the one, the only, the gliding double. I figured we'd include at least one double lift. This is actually a double turnover. There is a difference. Where do they explain that? Expert at the card table? Maybe Royal Road? I don't know, but gliding double is one of my favorites. It took me a while just because of the mechanics of it. Previously, and, well, I should still say, Stuart Gordon is still one of my favorite all-time double lifts. But man, I've really just grown to love this sliding double, where you can have a card just kind of slide out from the deck. It's just a beautiful display. Of course, you can do whatever you want with it. But yeah, there's the one double turnover on the list, and that's the gliding double. Alright, coming in at number 4, the snap deal. Man, what a great move. Leonard Green, he has so many good moves. It's hard to choose just one for this list. But I thought, man, of course it would have to be snap deal. One of my favorite moves. This is just so fun to practice. And of course there's, so much application, so many different things that you could use it for. Maybe a card control, right? You control the card to the top. Of course, you have the vanishing cards and the reappearing cards. A lot of things that you could do with the snap deal. I first learned about this from Takumi Takahashi, his study on Leonard Green. He broke up a bunch of mini projects, and I bought the one on the snap deal. And then recently got a DVD, Leonard Green DVD, Slightly Green, Volume 6, I think, in a Tannen's Mystery Box. And then a good friend, shout out to Trinity, sent me a little something. I'm thankful for that. But yeah, number 4, Leonard Green's The Snap Deal. And coming in at number 3, the most beautiful thing indeed. And that is the side still. And you could do all kind of things with this. This is basically based off of, what do you call that? Diagonal palm shift, where they kind of come down like this, palm off the card. But they're just ways I've played around with it, kind of got around, to the best of my ability, that whole action. If I was to do a diagonal palm shift, it would be something to the effect of, bringing it into like a gambler's cop or something like that. But I never really bring it into a palm position. I hardly ever do that. Rather, I either control the card either to the bottom, usually do a dribble, or it could be controlled to the top. And yeah, it's a very clean move. And so I think maybe the best thing to call it would be a side still. I really don't know. I know Mark over at Cardman, this is one of his favorites too. And I'm with him because this is one of my favorites. It works. And there's ways to cover it too. Just the movements of your hands, it can look really beautiful. It's not really diagonal palm shift, but we'll just call it the side still for now. Number 3. Is that number 3? Losing track. Number 2, favorite card move, something I do day in and day out, is the table Faro. Yeah, I thought about including like the push through false shuffle, but you know what? I find myself doing this more than that. It's just something that's really beautiful to do. These cards are traditionally cut, by the way, so I wouldn't suggest doing it like this. Of course, if I wanted to, I could turn the cards over and do it the other way, which is Daniel Madison. He likes to do it that way. I'll leave a link in the video where I teach both versions of the tabled Faro. But man, what a great move, and it just looks, it's so easy to do. Like once you know it, And then the whole little bridge, I think that's really what makes this move, special. Of course, the Pharaoh can stand on its own, but you know that bridge just kind of gives it that little flair, right? So number 2, the tabled Pharaoh. Coming in at number 1, my all-time favorite card move currently. But man, I love this so much. So versatile. That is what I call the Louise Control. Man, this is such a beautiful move. It almost has that feeling of like bow to stern level convincer. It just, such a beautiful thing, man. It really is. And there are multiple applications. One that I like to do is this little number right here, where I control the card seemingly to the bottom, but actually I control it to the top. I do little things. I throw little unnecessary sleights into my whole Louise routine just to purposely try to throw off people. But yeah, it's basically, I haven't taught this on this channel. If this is something you're interested in learning, let me know in the comments below. And yeah, I'll release it. But it's basically controlling the card either to the top or to a palm position, and displacing an indifferent card, seemingly looking like the selected card, and it is just, it's just a beautiful control. Of course, the palm version would look something like that. And I would use that normally for like if I had an empty box, I would take the box and it would look like the card is coming out of the empty box. But that's what I call the Louise Control, and I've only ever saw one other person do this, and that is Danny D. Ortiz, and he does it a completely different way. In fact, the way that he does it is the original way that I self-taught myself. I learned it. But then I came up with this method, and there's just a few little nuances, a few little just techniques that really, subtleties, that's the word I'm looking for. A few little subtleties that really make this control special, and it's just something, it's just a utility move, it's just a card control. But man, it's just so convincing when they see that card go in and your hand comes away and they see it in the middle and it's on top. It's a beautiful move. Perfect for an ACR, card to box, card to impossible. There's a lot of things you could do with this, and you could palm it off, like I said. So, number 1, the Louise Control. Alright guys, there you have it. My top 10 card moves. I hope you enjoyed that. Hope you have a super blessed weekend. So Jorge Nito here, signing off.